Keely's Horsey podcasting, galloping in every week. Alex shares the laughter and cheer, just for Keely's ears to hear.
Okay, welcome everyone to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Jean, and today we are diving into the fascinating world of horse training.
And with me today, I have Billy, who's going to help us unpack all of this. Billy, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jean. Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here and chat about horses.
So, Billy, let's jump right in. The text we're looking at really emphasizes starting with understanding horse behavior. Why is that so fundamental to training?
Well, Jean, it's like you wouldn't try to teach someone a new language if you didn't understand how they learn, right? Horses are the same. They aren't humans. They are prey animals. And that shapes everything about how they see the world and how they learn. Their instincts, their past experiences, even their breed, it all plays a role. If you ignore that, you're basically setting yourself up for frustration.
Right? Makes sense. So it's not just about forcing them to do what we want. It's about speaking their language in a way.
Exactly. Think about it. Horses are naturally wired to react fast, fight or flight. That's how they've survived for ages. So in training, that means they're super sensitive to cues, which is great, but it also means they can spook easily. Something new or unexpected, even if it seems totally normal to us, can trigger a big reaction in them. We got to create a safe, predictable space for them to learn.
Okay, so safety and predictability are key. And what about how horses learn? The text mentions they have great memories, but maybe not the same reasoning as us?
Yeah, that's a really important point. They have amazing associative memories. Think of it like if something happens right after something else, they link those two things together really strongly, but they don't really reason like we do. You can't explain to a horse why they need to do something. It's more about showing them through repetition and clear consequences. If they do something we want, we reward it immediately. If they don't, well, we need to correct it. But again, really clearly and consistently, it's all about cause and effect for them.
Gotcha. So it's less like a lecture and more like practical, hands-on learning with immediate feedback.
Precisely. And that brings us to what the text calls the fundamental triad of horse training: patience, consistency, and repetition. These aren't just buzzwords, they're essential.
Let's break those down. Patience, I get. Horses learn at their own pace, right?
Yep, patience is huge. Rushing things just backfires, it creates stress for the horse, and then you end up with more problems in the long run. Short, focused sessions are way better than long, drawn-out ones where the horse gets mentally checked out. Like 10 to 15 minutes, really focused, is often plenty.
Okay, short and sweet sessions. And consistency, that sounds like being clear with your cues every time?
It's even broader than just cues, Jean. It's about your whole approach, your body language, your energy, your expectations. If you're teaching a horse something, you have to be consistent every single time. No mixed signals. If you let them get away with something one day and then scold them for it the next, they're going to get confused and anxious. Imagine trying to learn rules that keep changing. You'd be stressed out.
Totally, inconsistency is just confusing. And finally, repetition. We're not just drilling them endlessly, are we?
Well, repetition is key to solidifying learning, but it's not just about mindless drilling. Think of that saying, 1 time is luck, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a start of a new skill. You need to repeat things, but also, and this is crucial, you need to practice in different places, different situations. So the horse learns the skill isn't just for one specific spot, like the arena, but it's something they need to do anywhere you ask. That's what they call generalizing the learning.
Right? So repetition with variety to make sure it sticks in all contexts. Now, the text mentions different training methods, like classical natural horsemanship and positive reinforcement. Can you give us a quick rundown of those?
Sure thing. Classical or traditional training often uses what's called pressure and release. You apply pressure, could be with your legs, reins, whatever, and the instant the horse responds correctly, you release that pressure. That release is the reward. It's been around for ages and it works, but timing is everything. If your timing is off, it can be confusing.
Pressure and release makes sense. What about natural horsemanship? That's become pretty popular, hasn't it?
Yeah, natural horsemanship really focuses on understanding horse psychology, their instincts, and building a partnership based on communication and respect. It's less about forcing compliance and more about working with the horse's nature. Often, they work with horses at liberty, meaning without ropes or halters, to build that connection. It's about a real relationship, not just mechanical obedience.
That sounds gentler, maybe? And then there's positive reinforcement, treats and praise.
Exactly. Positive reinforcement is all about rewarding the behaviors you want. Treats, scratches, verbal praise, anything the horse finds rewarding. Clicker training falls under this too. You use a clicker to mark the exact moment the horse does what you want and then give a reward. It's really effective, especially for horses who are maybe fearful or have had negative experiences with other methods. And a lot of trainers actually blend bits from all these approaches. No one method is always perfect for every horse.
Right, it's about tailoring your approach to the individual horse. Now, even with the best methods, things go wrong sometimes. The text mentions fear as a big challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Fear is a huge roadblock. Horses can develop fears from past bad experiences, and it can really shut down their learning. If a horse is scared, their survival instincts kick in, and training cues just go out the window. Rebuilding trust is key then. It takes time, patience, and positive experiences to help them feel safe again.
So, how do you rebuild that trust? If a horse is fearful?
Gradual exposure is the answer. You slowly introduce them to whatever they're scared of in a controlled way, and you keep them under their threshold, meaning you don't push them to the point of panic. Lots of positive reinforcement, and sometimes going back to easier things they already know well can help rebuild their confidence in you as a leader.
Makes sense, baby steps. What about when horses just seem uninterested, disengaged? Is that a training challenge too?
Definitely. Horses get bored too. If training becomes just repetitive and meaningless, they'll tune out. If you're just going through the motions, doing the same drills without clear goals, they'll lose focus. Structured training plans are important, with clear steps and progression to keep them mentally stimulated. Variety within a routine is the key. New challenges mixed with familiar exercises keeps them engaged and builds confidence through success.
Variety within routine, got it, keeps things interesting. And the last challenge the text mentions is fatigue, physical and mental.
Yeah, horses can get tired, just like us. Trainers need to be able to spot the signs of fatigue, decreased responsiveness, losing focus. Training cues should be short and light, not constant nagging. And session length needs to be appropriate for the horse's age, fitness, and experience. Younger horses, or those less trained, need shorter sessions. Breaks, varying activities, all that helps prevent fatigue and keeps them engaged.
So it's about being observant and adjusting your training to their needs physically and mentally. It sounds like a really nuanced process, but when it works, it can be amazing, right? The text talks about remarkable achievements.
Absolutely. Think about police horses, totally calm in busy city streets, or therapy horses, working patiently with people who have unpredictable movements. That level of calmness and focus takes incredible training. And then you have sport horses, dressage horses doing these incredible movements, jumping horses, clearing huge obstacles. It's all the result of years of dedicated, thoughtful training.
It's really impressive when you think about it. All that communication and partnership.
Exactly. Ultimately, successful horse training isn't just about teaching tricks or winning ribbons. It's about building a real partnership based on clear communication, respect, and understanding. Recognizing each horse as an individual, adapting your methods to them. That's what makes the difference between just okay training and truly exceptional training. And that bond you build, that's the most rewarding part of it all.
That's a great way to put it, Billy. It's about the partnership. Thank you so much for for sharing all this insight with us today. It's been really fascinating to learn more about the art and science of horse training.
My pleasure, Jean. Always happy to talk horses.
So, for anyone tuning in, it really boils down to understanding your horse, being patient and consistent, and remembering it's a partnership, not just a performance, right, Billy?
Exactly, Jean. It's about seeing the world from their perspective and building that trust. It takes time and effort, but the rewards of that connection are incredible.
Definitely something to think about whether you're a horse owner or just fascinated by these amazing animals. Thanks again, Billy, for sharing your expertise with us.
My pleasure, Jean. Thanks for having me.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found this insightful, and maybe it's given you a new appreciation for the incredible bond between humans and horses. Until next time.
Clip clop goes the journey here. Keely, you've got nothing to fear. Your brother made it just for you. So here's a podcast fresh and new. Keely's Horsey podcasting, galloping in every week. Alex shares the laughter and cheer, just for Keely's ears to hear. Keely's Horsey podcasting, galloping in every week. Alex shares the laughter and cheer, just for Keely's ears to hear.